8, like I might only have two fish left. I don't know, I could eat them. I really don't know. I did get multiple bites on that one cast. Might have been the same fish that followed up, or I don't know. There's like a lot of guys back home that's gonna be pretty upset with me probably. Oh, probably so. That's all right. I don't care. It's not like it's a huge secret.
Great stuff from Pug, breaking down the technique.
We ever have a tournament where a shad spawn is the primary deal though? I promise you right now. I promise you I'm gonna catch them.
I love that confidence
if it's got
from Pug.
marinas and docks. If it don't have marinas and docks, I'm probably not in good shape.
Pug works that marina. We're gonna work our way to our fine sponsors that make this all possible here at the league, and we'll see you on the other side for more Watts Bar action.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store, because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know, plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
So if you don't know about me, I was in the military for quite a while, and in that process I picked up the habit of chewing tobacco. I came across this stuff last year, midsummer, and started using it, and now I don't even use tobacco at all. If you don't know about Fully Loaded Chew, it's a non-tobacco product that contains nicotine. Fully Loaded Chew offers a variety of nicotine strengths. They have fully loaded, which is full nicotine, half cocked, which is half strength, and zero nicotine options for you. So if you're looking to completely kick the habit, they have something that's going to fit you. They have a variety of flavors. So if you're used to chewing a certain thing, they have something that's going to fit what you're used to also. To sign up for their monthly subscription service or to get your hands on any Fully Loaded Chew product, head to fullyloadedchew.com and grab some.
Pro-Guide batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro-Guide batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro-Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
Are you looking to install your own fishing electronics? Well, the Bass Tank is here to help you. The solution is the Bass Tank Power Harness. It takes the guesswork out of installation. No more voltage issues or interference. Designed by an engineer so that you can get professional results right there in your own garage. Installation done right with the help of the Bass Tank Power Harness. You can feel confident knowing that your installation was done right. The Bass Tank Power Harness. Give us a call or order yours today at thebasstank.com.
Welcome back to the Battle on the Bar. Watts Bar Lake, Spring City, Tennessee. Stop number 3, the National Professional Fishing League. And our unofficial second place man, Pug Clements. We spent a good bit of time with Pug this morning. He's been working on those Watts Bar bass, but we've been getting good stuff from our man Bradley Hallman all week, and he has ran down one of the anglers that's been putting them in the boat all week long, California's Luis Fernandez.
Bass Warrior.
The Bass Warrior himself. One of our hard-working cameramen out there on the water, the guys that make the NPFL look so good all the time on social media, Tanner and Travis Lyons. Tanner reported the first day he was talking to you and I, Fat Cat, and he said Lewis caught like 50 fish, just cast after cast after cast, that typical Tennessee River, something that we've talked about a lot this week that is not really typical on Watts Bar, these big schools, but Lewis has certainly been sitting on one all 3 days. And when we saw Lewis's name pop up on that unofficial leaderboard, day one, you and I, we were all in a group text. Oh, well, you know what he's doing. Yes. He's up there throwing a chatterbait.
Because he told us.
He's a shallow water guy.
We talked to him, shallow water guy, and he said he was kind of keyed on something, but he could expect us to see him flipping laydowns. No, we can't. Here he is out here. So I guess what he was saying, that was going to be his backup plan. Fortunately, he didn't need to use his backup plan.
Unofficially in 6th place today, came into the day in our top 10. And Lewis was a guy that last year we covered a ton.
That's right.
On the league, but had a rough event at Cumberland, another rough event at Hartwell, very uncharacteristic of Lewis, and found himself down in the 90s in the Progressive Angler of the Year coming into this tournament. So certainly, I have no doubt he's glad to see a positive event here at the bar, headed into Saginaw Bay and the rest of the year.
And no surprise to see him back up, close to the top.
Oh, he was a guy last year we all just figured was going to win one. At any point, he came out of the gate swinging at Eufaula, our inaugural event where we're getting to know so many of these anglers, and by the second event at Right Pavement, we're like, all right, Lewis he's one of our guys. He's going to be right there all the time, and he certainly was all year.
Because one thing that he's versatility. Come on, B. Come on, use your words. I was talking about you about sound it out. I can't even get versatility out of my mouth, but he's versatile.
I was not going to say anything about that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but he's definitely versatile.
A little bit of a wind shift out there, a little chop on the water. Look at that guy right there.
Well, Hawaii 5.0.
Clawed and done everything he can do. He has not left this spot. He's fought off multiple bobbies. He even gave one bobby a waypoint to be able to stay on this place. He's done everything he can to stay here. And I'm trying to drift off here with my spot lock. But we're back. But he's done everything he can. I know deserve doesn't have anything to do with the final outcome of this tournament. Lewis deserves it. I mean, he has sit on one spot, and he has fought and clawed. He stayed in the top 10. He was in top 10 day one. He was in top 10 after day two. He's got a limit right now. There's smaller fish today. He hasn't got any big ones to fire up. Matter of fact, he told me he's down to a drop shot just to make them bite. So he is struggling to get a quality bite here. But he said the same thing that one of the other guys said, was when the sun came out, it was like a light switch. They started biting. So maybe this afternoon he'll get a flurry of some big ones. Back to you guys.
Big Bradley bringing the thunder there.
That's
like
right.
always, the good stuff. Bass Warrior. That's our guy right
Bass
there.
Warrior, bound up.
That wind making boat control not easy out there.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse as the day progresses. That wind's in there to stay 10 to 15 miles an hour. Started out of the south-southwest. Now it's moving straight west. And that front those guys were dealing with, they're just at the tail end of it. Just getting a taste of that wind. But all the bad weather should be out of the neighborhood for the rest of the day.
Make for a beautiful finale Friday weigh-in there in Spring City with Big Al McCullough at 3 p.m.
He'll be bringing the boom. We've been seeing some boom this week, man. We've had 6-pounders weighed in. Matt Massey come in yesterday with a mega bag over 19 pounds and a kicker of 7 pounds. And we've got guys right now. Today we know Logan Millsap's got 1 over 6. A few other guys with some tanks in the live well.
Of course, that big bite challenge, big bass, going to pay some big bucks at the end of the day today. And Matt Massey hoping that 7 even hangs on. I believe it's $8,000 for that this week.
Have mercy.
One cast could certainly change your week and your bank account. Of course, we don't have audio on Lewis. Should we interpret what we think he's saying?
Oh, boy. Should we? Could we? Yes. Should we? I don't know if we should or not, but we definitely could.
Like one of those old black and white Western films, you know,
Yeah.
got a narrator.
Old Kung Fu.
Yeah, the old Kung Fu movie, yeah. Overdub.
Yes.
We'll just say Bass Warrior on that.
Yeah, Bass Warrior.
Lewis, one of the most positive, upbeat guys out there.
High energy,
League,
boy.
man.
High
Yeah,
energy.
It's fun to be around.
Yeah,
We
man.
got to visit with Lewis down at Arrowhead this week when you and I, we were planes, trains, and automobiles.
Speaking of Arrowhead Resort, a beautiful place that has been so welcoming to us, here's a few words and a little insight on what Arrowhead Resort is all about.
My name is Jim Clifford. I'm the president of and one of the partners of Arrowhead Resort in Spring City, Tennessee. Arrowhead Resort is a family-owned and operated resort. We welcome family, fishermen, anglers. Arrowhead Resort was purchased by my aunt and uncle in 1965. Then my cousins took it over in the mid-'80s along with their parents. And then we had the opportunity here this winter and fall to purchase a place, to keep it in the family. We got a lodge up here, cabins back here, restaurant, house you can rent, dock slips, boats to rent. We have kayaks. We have 12 rooms in the lodge, 6 cabins, and then the house. House sleeps 14. I've been coming here for 37 years. It's a very, very peaceful place to be. It's like home.
I'm Norman McCown, here with Arrowhead Resort in Spring City, Tennessee, the manager of the resort. When you first arrive, I would recommend jumping in a kayak and just going out to the lake and seeing the different parts of the lake. It's such a beautiful resource, you know, and of course when you get hungry, our restaurant, we got chefs in there to cook whatever you would like to eat.
You can follow us on Facebook. We have a website. I guarantee you, if you get here, you'll be hooked.
Welcome back to Watts Bar. We'd like, again, to thank Arrowhead Resort. They hosted all of our NPFL crew this week, and a lot of our anglers. And it's, as we travel all over the country, it's nice to have somewhere that feels like home and have a lot of amenities around. like that restaurant. You and I, we know a thing or two
we
about we're going to test the local table fare everywhere you and I go.
Yeah.
We certainly did. We spent some time there at Arrowhead. Great food. The only thing we didn't do, I didn't exactly hop in a kayak and check out the lake. I'm not really built for that.
Yeah, I can relate. I can definitely relate to that.
Back out live to Ryan Satterfield. I'd make it about 50 yards with the old paddle.
Yeah, I need to take one, the old the Torpedo on the back.
Yeah.
Lock a hubs and dump a clutch. But familiar setting for old Ryan Satterfield right now. Still has that spinning rod in his hand. And for a Texas boy, or Arkansas, excuse me.
Right on the line,
Arkansas,
though.
right on the line.
Right on the line.
And that was the thing back in the day, man. You would hear guys, and still to this day, they ain't fishing with no spinning rod. You know what I mean? That macho kind of thing. But we talked about it yesterday. We've touched on it. That spinning rod puts some bass in the boat and puts the checks in the bank.
Fishing multi-day tournaments, it has to be in your wheelhouse.
And we
now.
talked about versatility, right?
Absolutely. Guys like, veteran pro, Greg Hackney. I was talking with Greg one time about this exact subject. And he's known for power fishing and flipping and shallow cranking and, big line. And he said, look, in this day and time, the anglers are better, the equipment's better, the lakes are more pressured. And he said, you can call it what you want, but he said, if you want to survive in multi-day events and have a chance to win money, get checks, be consistent, he said, you better add a spinning rod into your mix.
Absolutely, we've seen it. Well, Ryan Satterfield, he's doing something a little different too. I mean, he's throwing a wacky rig, which we all throw the wacky rig, but he's actually throwing a finesse Carolina rig, which is unique. And you said earlier, that's kind of a regional thing for that Rayburn.
Definitely an East Texas thing.
East Texas thing.
Throwing the wacky worm right now, but he put 15 pounds on the board yesterday, really quick. Hallman called up with him. He had a great morning, and one of the overwhelming themes of this week that as we, get closer to the midday here on this finale Friday, after watching this go down for almost 3 days, is just consistency is so hard to find, especially in one particular area. We're seeing guys, they're really having to mix it up. And I know Bradley leaned on that a couple times this morning, talking about guys just being patient. Like a Luis Fernandez, he's been able to sit in one general area and find that consistency. But man, there have been so many others that have tried that and failed. I mean, look at Matt Massey, 8 pounds the first day. And then boom, 19 yesterday, off to a great start again today. But it's all over the place. And we described it when we came on live yesterday as ADD and bipolar. And that is what the TVA is known for this time of year. You can go shallow, you can go deep. But man, Watts Bar has really been showing its anger issues.
And the weather hasn't been our friend either. Well, I guess I take that back. The weather has been friend to some of the anglers and not to the other. But with that being said, you're getting a little taste of all aspects of the weather. We got pre-front, post-front. You're getting sunshine. You're getting clouds.
Go check in with Sheldon Collings, another one of our young anglers here. You like to use the word due. He's due for a win. He's been so close.
Speaking of versatility, the weather is very versatile.
For sure.
This week at Watts Bar.
One stump right there, and there's fish all over it.
700 miles of shoreline, over 60 miles of fishable water. The weather's a little different in each part of it. You can get out of the wind in some of it.
Come on, eat it.
Once you get so far up the lake from our launch there in Spring City, it turns into more of a riverine, kind of just very narrow.
And that's kind of how Watts is laid out. A long, narrow, it's not a big, wide pool like some of the lakes we've visited or going to visit, matter of fact.
Yeah, the Tennessee River really doesn't start to open up till you get to the lower end of Chickamauga and then down to Gunnersville. Overall, it's not a very wide body of water. Just
it runs through the Tennessee Valley. It's a valley that's just been
Hills,
dammed
mountains
up
on both sides,
Come on,
absolutely.
not today.
The water's accumulated.
It always comes into my mind when we watch somebody with forward-facing sonar. We're seeing it over and over and over. I've had one on my boat now for several years. But the efficiency that we all now have on the water, I think back, 20 years ago, a guy pulls up, he might know these stumps are here. He throws out there, he's got a fish around, he might get a bite, he might not. Sheldon pulls up, shines over there. Oh, there's 3 there. Oh, well, they don't like this. Let me pick this up. Oh, well, they didn't react to that. All right, let's go. It's just efficiency,
you were
efficiency,
throwing your
efficiency.
orange buoy out there.
Yes.
Fishing around
Yes,
your
that's right. Now you can spot lock down. It's just, as we evolve, the efficiency that comes with the equipment is very cool.
It makes you wonder how far can it actually go.
Well, we've got cameras now. We've seen the underwater cameras.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just keeps evolving. We'll go from Sheldon over to our unofficial leader, Massey. Check back in with Mr. Massey. Mr. Massey was a teacher I had in high school. We got in trouble a lot by, so.
You got in trouble? Probably for talking.
$1,000,000%.
Well, I've left my grass area. I'm gonna give it a rest for a few hours and maybe come back to it this afternoon. I went around and around and around in there for quite a while and never did get any more bites. So now I'm just kind of working down this bank that's got a little bit deeper water right here. Maybe we'll get a fish off this wall. Kind of a great setup. I've been catching a lot of fish off vertical structures, so this has some potential. But yeah, the kind of bites kind of slowed down for me. Kind of did yesterday about the same time. So I'm going to bounce around to some spots that I got bid in yesterday and maybe stop and fish something new along the way if it looks right. And just keep poking along here.
There we go. That's what I alluded to this morning, that vertical structure. That was that pattern that Matt ran yesterday called the 7-pounder.
Big fish.
And so many of those big fish on the Tennessee River, they do. They relate to bluff walls. They relate to this vertical industrial structure like this around the dam, sometimes the actual walls of the dams. And he was telling us yesterday, he's throwing a pretty light jig and just letting it fall. And he says he sets the hook when it stops falling. I mean, because he said, there's nothing it can be on. It's got to be a fish. That's what happened on the 7. He caught a couple of smallmouth yesterday doing this as well. I know he said he was going to sit in that grass this morning, but you catch a 7-pounder doing something, and he had a good limit when he got to the grass yesterday. So I feel like we're going to.
The conditions did change for him too.
For sure.
Yesterday he had cloud cover all day. This morning he had cloud cover, and you could tell once the
3/8
cloud
ounce
cover.
jig now that one of my good friends makes for me. He's actually been making my jigs for 20 years. He lives in Littleton, Colorado. He's got a little small tackle company. He makes quite a bit of stuff, and his name's Don Spees with Falcon Tackle. If you guys are needing some jigs, spinner baits, and anything else special ordered, he can get it for you. Look him up. And I really like his jigs, and he'll make whatever color, whatever hook you want. All my jigs are made with the trocar hooks. This is kind of nice.
Matt, sponsored by Eagle Claw Trocar. We're out of Denver, Colorado out there. So hometown, you know, that's his title sponsor. Even though he's a Florida boy now.
I grew up on some Eagle Claw hooks. Number
See a
2 double
couple
snare.
Everybody did. You know what I mean? That's just so many fishing memories.
We're at the bottom of that wall. I think they're pretty small.
From our unofficial leader to the leader after day 1 and day 2, South Carolina's Patrick Walters. Coach Walters, as Bradley Holland refers to him.
That's what I need. That's worldwide.
No doubt
James
about
Watson's
that, James
floating
Watson.
around. He took a
Will
day
not
off.
leave us alone, even though he took a week
Stalker.
off. He's on vacation. Eating sardines, Bahena sausages in there.
Slurping the can.
Still a few clouds hanging around. But that front's definitely broken up from what we saw this morning.
Oh yeah, them boys got wet this morning.
Patrick Walters hooked up live. Watch bar. Another solid fish.
Got some work to do. That's 4. Sucker was 30 feet deep. Freaking community hole to hit this thing the last 3 days, hadn't caught him on it. I'm saying we're just running obvious stuff. I hate when they come up out of the blue. Chance of you losing him when he digs and then he just randomly comes up. So you just gotta bring him. Keep the heat to him. Listen. Do more like that. We might do something. Need to get one more good one. And we need to call them 2 little guys out.
He's got a good demo plan.
I love that. Can't beat the freaking big worm bite.
See that wind.
Oh yeah.
Mag trick worm, baby.
Such a TVA staple, the mag trick worm, in the last several years.
Like on his nails. Good question, Patrick.
Got a big shaky head, big 8/0 hook in there. Make sure your line's good and stuff. He's sitting there on that dang stump down there, way off the drop. I guess some people had fished it. That's why I wanted to start way early so I got the sweet spot, which is on top of it. But a lot of times when you get a lot of pressure on these schools, they'll just push off to the side or push off deeper. So that's what we're doing. We need to get 2 more like that one.
He certainly believes in that bait fuel, man. You see him use that scent. And look, I think with scents and confidence, colors, whatever it is,
Way up the drop.
if it gets you an extra bite
I was just about to pick a
a
drop
day,
out and
it's
throw it
worth
in there,
using.
but They bite that sucker off. There she goes. Nice and steady. No idea what those fish are right there. They're bass though.
I want that t-shirt. I really want that t-shirt, like bad.
Tennessee River back to back.
That's the limit. Sucker
deep. God, they're deep. Just sat here and watched Patrick Walters catch 2 back-to-back and fill that 5-fish limit he's been trying to get all morning.
Holding my hat.
Came in the finale Friday as a leader. He led day 1, day 2.
So I told you.
Trying to go wire to wire.
Good decision, baby. All you gotta do. That one right call.
And he is
The
not
limit,
the guy
Not enough to do anything yet.
that you want to be
Keep at it.
battling out with.
See if we can catch us another one. Oh yeah, there's like 5 of them down there. Go get it, baby.
I'd like to remind everybody we go to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our live coverage.
Coming out for a freaking Memorial Weekend.
And our anglers, especially our top 5 recovery, don't check in till 5:15 this afternoon. So a lot of fishing time left for these guys. There we go.
Yep,
Starting
we'll
to
do it.
happen.
Memorial Day weekend, baby.
Here we
Friday.
go. Sun came out.
Oh yeah.
All right, see our leader coming into today, finish out that limit, which is crucial to your confidence and getting things going here on Finale Friday. We're gonna get things going with our sponsors that make it all possible here at the National Professional Fishing League. And we will see you guys on the other side for more Watts Bar live action.
So, you're looking to buy fishing electronics, huh? Are you also looking for true experts to help guide you through it? Well, at the Bass Tank, you've come to the right place. We are live forward-facing sonar pioneers with thousands of hours spent learning through winning trophies, cashing checks, and just having fun. Whatever brand you need, we have it. We offer free shipping, and we have 2 financing options available. Our experts are here to help you. Call us today or visit thebasstank.com.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store. Because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know. Plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
I'm Doug Chapin, and this is how I fish fully loaded.
Pro Guide batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. Like the house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster, an insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
It's a bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Will from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here. Super fun beach day, everybody.
Welcome back to Watts Bar, Spring City, Tennessee, and Matt Massey, the unofficial leader. He was 1 pound 9 ounces back from Patrick Walters this morning, but as you guys saw, right before we went to the commercial break, Patrick finished out that 5 bass limit. A lot of time left to call, and he's feeling it today. He missed that trophy at Hartwell Lake that he's won on before. Stop number 2 there for us, and this is his first year fishing with us here, NPFL. And you could tell it bugged him. And this morning, in our morning interview, he had that intensity we've seen with Patrick so many times, and he's feeling it out there today. And if I'm the other guys trying to run him down, I'm glad I'm not getting to see this footage. You know, just the look, absolutely. Just the overall demeanor, the look. He wants it, man.
Oh yeah. He's down like that 2-minute fourth quarter.
That's right.
Red zone kind of deal. He knows where he's at. He knows what he has to do.
And he's known it all week. He's had a game plan. We heard him say yesterday about the size fish he thought he needed to catch and the size baits he needed to throw to get that done. And he's just, man, he's been executing.
Something we've talked about. You brought up yourself, you know, from your past experience of being around the industry for so long, how important that 6-pounder was for him the first day. And listen, we saw it again yesterday with Matt Massey, how important that one big fish was.
Patrick and all these guys just fish so much all over the country. Let's go jump over to Patrick Walters and check back in with him. Hooked up.
Keeping that one.
Won't help. Can hear those boats running around out there, Big Cat. Memorial Day magic starting to happen. Watts Bar.
Oh yeah.
Got a 1995 carbureted Mercury there running by. Probably on a bullet boat in East Tennessee.
Ain't no lie.
Pretty sure that dude just said roll tide.
He did not.
He
I can
probably got
confirm.
one of those tattoos.
Hey, listen, I can confirm he did not say that. He said go Big Orange.
It was slow there for a minute, wasn't it? We need a big one now.
Patrick is a South Carolina Gamecock, so he likes throwing shade at all the other SEC schools.
That's a dripworm, mag drip.
Patrick's gonna get re-rigged. We're gonna go back over to Matt Massey, the man he's doing battle with here on Finale Friday so far.
T.
Florida angler, biggest bag of the event on day 2, 19 pounds. Had a 7-pounder, leading the Big Bite Challenge. Big bass. I would like to say it's safe, but who knows?
Yeah, because we saw Logan Millsaps. He had a big one. According to Bradley Hallman, Millsaps had a 1/6 in a live well. But this is, this is your neck of the woods. A 7-pounder for the TVA, especially Watts Bar. That's pretty stout. And I know we got Chickamauga.
With Watts Bar, it definitely is stout. But you go right through the next lock, and of course, 10-pounders, 12-pounders, 14-pound. I mean, it's crazy. But Watts has never been known for those fish over 7. Do they live there? Absolutely. But not necessarily just.
And let's talk about this. The quality of fish that he caught yesterday and brought to the scales were, man, they were truly healthy. We're seeing fish here that were weighed in. Oh, there we go. They look more post-spawn, but his were fat and healthy.
Well, even with a 7-pounder, yes, he's got 19 pounds, but he had 4 for 12. Four really good fish.
Absolutely good.
Those 7s go a long way. Don't get me wrong, but.
Oh, come on now. Let's see what he weighs.
All of our anglers do take a different approach to culling, depending, some guys use scales, some guys use balance beams, some guys use both. We see every technique utilized to ensure that they've got every possible ounce that they can get going into that final drive-through weigh-in.
Paper thin. Should have been a 2-pounder, and he's not even a 1.5 pounds.
Seeing Matt mix it up though, he went shallow grass, then that vertical cover played so big for him yesterday. Now that was a flat dock. That was a Sheldon Collings dock right there.
Yeah. I think Matt knew he was going to be doing work this week. That's why he wore his boots. Anybody just tuning in, it's been a action-packed morning. Things are kind of slowed down a little bit this morning. We had the storm coming in, overcast. There was a lot of moving around, a lot of guys put a dent in their limit this morning. The weather's kind of moved out and the bite has kind of slowed down for some people. Other people are just now getting in their rhythm. Speaking of rhythm. Well, Massey playing that string music.
For him.
That one's a little better.
Dang it.
Yeah, that'll help. And 3 ounces there. Number 2.
A little bit of a call for Massey.
No, that's not the right.
Matt get it sorted out. We're going to jump over to Sheldon Collings.
A little spinner rod action. No surprise to see him near a dock. That was going to be his primary pattern, and rightfully so, hooked up.
I don't know if he's a keeper. I don't think he is. Yeah. Nah, he ain't. 13 3/4. Boy, I'm good. Hopefully the next time I say that, he's probably 6'2".
Largemouth need to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be right.
Catch
when it's short.
Yeah, you're right. Largemouth are 15 inches, spot 12 inches, and smallmouth need to be 18 inches here on Watts Bar for this tournament.
Sheldon switched up to a drop shot around the docks, laid that jig down.
And listening to him earlier, he was kind of happy to see that sun come up because that was going to get those bass to hold tighter to that cover. As you can see, that wind is steadily picking up. And it's just constant. It's not gusting, it's just staying at 10 to 15. And it's shifting throughout the day.
It's so hard to skip a drop shot.
Sheldon, a little shallow. Sharpening the edges of the blade on that prop of his.
There's a stump or something.
Wind's been out of the southwest most of the week.
Bless you again.
Scat cat.
Oh boy.
That's what my mom used to say every time somebody
Kyle,
says scat
I need
cat.
a new cameraman. He's got the Rona.
Good monkeypox joke there.
Old Rona.
I like lime in mine.
Yes, indeed. You and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop D-O double G. The LBC. You know what it is.
Bless you again. Okay, you're just you're just doing it for attention now.
Come on, Piper, get it together back there. Get a Zyrtec and get back after it.
Ooh, sunshine. Come on, sunshine, stay here.
Sheldon did a lot of his damage after we went off live yesterday. Had a slower morning, kind of like he's having now. He put some keepers in the boat. Same thing he's done today. But culled several fish late. He did catch one key 4-pounder early
Come on, Pinky.
yesterday.
Give me a big one.
Just a little past 12 o'clock here on finale Friday. That midday lull kind of setting in, not getting as many bites as we saw in the morning hours, but we're going to take a look back at some of the bites that our anglers have gotten out there on Watts Bar today. Some of the live action we've been able to bring you here. NPFL Live Stop number 3 in the league. Pug and the white jig have been a lot of our stories this week.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, brother. Dude. That's what I'm talking about. It's a magic dog, dude. It's a magic dog. Y'all heard of Keith Carson's magic tree? Got a magic boat slip, baby.
Boat to boat. Eddie Carper. Ryan Satterfield. Tougher day for Ryan. Arkansas pro. Plagued by small fish and not as many bites as yesterday. How our day started for a lot of our anglers. That Forrest Gump rain and then transitioned into a lot of sun.
Babies were
really changing the complexion of the lake as the day gets a little further down the road. The fish are setting up on these brush piles, they're setting up on docks. A little more textbook Tennessee River as the day grows.
Something tells me we're not done seeing this for today. Yeah. Patrick Wald, he's getting in the zone.
That feels like a better one. Familiar scene from Patrick Walters right there, and a lot of the tournaments that he competes in. And for us, in the last 2 events, we have been in the boat with him, making those key decisions at the right times. Came up a little short at the last event, but looking like, man, he's got his foot on the gas, wanting to run off and leave the rest of these NPFL anglers today.
Still has that bad taste in his mouth from Hartwell, and he's not going to give up. He didn't give up last time. It's just, I see a different P-Wall. He's in the zone. He was fired up this morning. He's in it to win it, like always. But like we talked about with him, man, you look at the track record. He's a closer. It's what he does. He knows how to do it. Man,
Well, for the other anglers, I think the scary thing is he hasn't touched but 20% of the cover, brush piles, laydowns. I mean, he said he's spent 3 solid days graphing, so a lot of time left. Checks in at 5 p.m. this afternoon.
And that is so huge, especially in this tournament, man. Finale Friday, but you've talked about it, TVA, that later window bite, and man, if anybody knows how to capitalize on that, it's Patrick Walter.
He's got another Tennessee Valley Authority Lake next week in Pickwick, going to fish the Elite Series there, the Bassmaster Elite Series, and he said, hey, I decided that's going to be an offshore tournament, so this week I'm not going shallow. I'm going to get tuned up. I'm going to fish to win offshore. That's what he's doing, and so far it's paying off. He's been our leader both days 1 and 2. Thought he was going to have the biggest stringer until Massey, though, dropped in that 19 pounds, and Massey's off to a fantastic start today.
Absolutely.
Minus a 7-pounder from yesterday. He's in the mix, though.
So far, though, and we've seen it just take, we've talked about how much of a role that one kicker plays. Patrick Walter had a decent bag day 1, that 6-pounder. And then we saw yesterday, Massey did have a good quality of fish, but that 7-pounder, that one kicker is so important. We see Logan Millsap shot up the leaderboard with that 1 6-pounder. So what I'm getting at, nor P-Walt nor Massey have that kicker in their boat for today. Both of them have caught him this week. Will they catch another kicker today?
Even with the kicker, you've got to be able to put fish with it, and you've got to be able to pad it on both sides for 3 days. The issue I see with Massey, even with the big stringer, is that 8-pound first day. Will that come back to haunt him? Depending on what he catches today, he'll kick himself all the way back to Florida if he does come up short, because he's fishing a fantastic event, just had some bad luck on day 1. But the leaderboard is sure to shake up the rest of the day, just like it always does. We never know what we're talking about. The drive-through weigh-in happens, they're like, oh, everything that those guys was talking about was completely out of control. We're going to take a look at that unofficial leaderboard right now. Everything will become official starting at 3 p.m. this afternoon with Big Al McCullough bringing the boom and Patrick Walters regaining that top spot unofficially with that last keeper he put in the boat, a narrow lead over Matt Massey. Pug Clements still hanging in there, man, working that white jig on those marina docks we've seen him do for 2 days.
Fish for the tournament yet. Let him catch. If he catches that kicker,
very true. He's had consistency, but hasn't had that big bite that Massey and Patrick have been able to come up with. Timmy Reams in the top 10 in our AOY. He's always hanging around. We covered him a ton last year. Very talented young angler right there in Timmy Reams. In the 4th place spot, Sheldon Collings, Lewis Fernandez. We went boat to boat with Lewis. Lewis has fished a fantastic event. Again, a guy, he's had the consistency, hasn't been able to catch that 1 5-pound plus fish that the other guys have so far that are in that top 5.
I'm just glad to see him back up there, because we've talked about him so much being a well-rounded angler, and got off to a rough start this season, comes in here, finds his groove, and like you say, he just has to have that one good one. But are you going to get that one big one offshore?
I don't know. He's having to downsize today, work a drop shot, slow down a little bit. He's beat that one school up. He's milked it for all it's worth, sounds like. But you never know when he might catch a 5 or 6-pounder. That was coming from Bradley Hallman, though. He's like, hey, he's having to finesse them up. Maybe they get fired up and some big fish pull out there too, Lewis. We will see in the afternoon hours. Logan Millsap's a guy that found that important 5-pound plus bite. He's estimating over 6 pounds for one fish. We caught up with him earlier with Mr. Hallman as well. Eddie Carper, Robbie Frazier, and Tim Wilson rounding out that unofficial top 10 brought to you by Beatdown Mounts. And that Beatdown Mount plays a big role in us beating down these guys to enter their unofficial weights, right?
Yeah, man, we know that you like to get wound up and you'll jerk a knot in their head if they don't put them weights in that Beatdown Weigh Live tracker. But here's the deal this morning. A lot of rain coming down, so the weights were a little different this morning. We weren't sure where everybody stood because nobody wants to go boop, boop, beep, boop, getting rained on. Doesn't work too well for you. But that right there, I'm still not certain what's going to happen because we got guys that just don't put weights in. So you guys have to make sure that you tune in to that weigh-in with Big Al bringing the boom, because just because what that Weigh Live tracker says doesn't mean what them boys are going to bring across the scale.
That's exactly right. We've seen it, even to call out one of my buddies, Brad Knight, yesterday. We didn't know what he had. He comes in, he was 13th place going into today. We saw that with Patrick Walters day 1. 0 all day, ends up leading the tournament. So we try to tell the story as best we can here. We encourage, sometimes we force them, we strongly encourage. The big cat is my muscle when we are on site down at the events. All the guys, though, are encouraged to enter their weights in the Weigh Live app. We do our best to estimate as well because we know they're busy out there. We're running our mouths. They're trying to win $50,000. We like to give them a hard time here at NPFL Live. We're going to jump back out on the water to Matt Massey, that second place angler that made all the noise at the day 2 weigh-in.
Matt Massey, fishing a pattern we heard quite a bit about coming into this event, just fishing them laydowns.
Man, snagging everything here.
You know, we were talking about Luis Fernandez a second ago, and I thought this is where we would see him. I thought we would see him more shallow fishing this tournament, especially what he had told us when we were at the Arrowhead Resort.
And just with his style in general,
Correct.
We see him shallow more times than we don't. Swim baiting up shallow, chatterbait, flipping. He loves to throw a frog. We've seen him do it all up shallow. Really surprised me to not see Lewis in the grass. I mean, that's what you and I talked about when his name popped up day 1 on the Weigh Live board. Like, chatterbait in the grass.
Yep.
I just assumed,
Same here.
Now, will Lewis go back at the end of the week? Regardless of his finish, he's going to have a solid one, it appears. He goes back and watches the coverage and sees Matt Massey smoking him on that Thunder Cricket. So you second guess your decisions, at that point.
Man. Who doesn't, right?
Armchair quarterback, hindsight's 2020.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. That is some fishy looking stuff right there, though. Big old hog head down there lurking around.
I thought you said a big old Hallman lurking around. I didn't know.
Same thing. Hog head, Hallman, same thing. I would like to see Massey just slack line a hook set a 5-pounder.
Sticking with the jig that really got him here, got him to this finale Friday, having a camera, being in the mix. The jig accounted for several fish yesterday, including that big 7-pounder.
And it was interesting when he broke it down. Talked about how he's thrown it against that wall. And
we've not seen that vertical cover anymore since he started on that retaining wall.
Said that he would just set hook when the jig stopped falling, and they'd be on the other end. He's in deep thought right now. He may have fell. Oh, here he is. I'd figure out where he's going. Looks like he's just concentrating on timber. Or he's going out a little bit. Oh, Matt Massey doing some graphing out there. Probably looking for some more grass offshore because grass is what he's been capitalizing on. I'm assuming he's just easing off out there to see what it looks like. He's going to come back to the shore and check some laydowns out, but we're going to go check something out ourselves. We're going to go check out Ryan Satterfield, see what he's up to.
Ryan came into the day with the best chance to run down Patrick, only 9 ounces back.
And seems that he decided he doesn't want to be on camera, so.
He said, "K, bye."
Yep, see ya. Oh, Fat Cat and Luke? Yeah, I don't want anything to do with them
out.
knuckleheads.
He's gonna go find Hallman to talk to, probably. Check out. As he figures out where he's headed, we're gonna check back in with Sheldon Collings, Oklahoma angler. Still with the drop shot.
That rain's cold.
Bit of rain moving back in.
Rain's real cold. Oh, 4-pounder, 5-pounder. Where you at, buddy? Do a little pant rolling. Ooh. What we got here? Got a big rock or brush pile or something right out here. What in the heck was that, Sheldon? Yeah, so it ain't been terrible. We got a limit. It ain't the limit we need, but a limit's a limit on this place. So now I don't know if we're getting clouds, we're getting sun, we're getting rain. So it's hard to, you can't, obviously yesterday we didn't catch them flipping docks when it was cloudy, so I don't really want to go just flip a bunch of docks. So I don't know. We got a limit. I don't even think we got 10 pounds, but we just need to start catching some big ones now. So I'm gonna just try to fish the most high percentage areas, whether it be out deep or up shallow the rest of the day, in hopes that we catch a couple good ones.
With Sheldon live here working these brush piles, but we've had some action that we missed in the last break we were on. Check in with some of the catches going on out there at Watts Bar. A little slower than it was this morning, but still some moving and shaking going on the Tennessee River. Sheldon with that drop shot in hand.
Yeah, that's a keeper.
Working those docks.
There we go.
As he was just saying there, a limit is very important.
14 3/4. Biggin. That's a biggin, I think. Nope. If I say it's a biggin on live scope.
The man coming into today and back on top, Patrick Walters.
Came in as day 1 and day 2 leader.
Trying to go wire to wire on the bar.
Typically don't have the patience.
Finale Friday.
Even like right now, I'm like.
Back out to live action with Sheldon Collings.
Jerk bait. Like Sheldon said, we've seen all different types of weather. You saw a second ago the flags to his right in that yard. They were horizontal, buddy. It's that constant wind just blowing. That's Bobby's house right there. Bobby, what's going on, man?
Never met anybody that knows more Bobbies around the country. Really, you do.
Name.
It's a thing with you.
It is. I've got a few things like that.
The bobbies gravitate towards you. That's what
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
getting at.
yeah.
It's- I've witnessed it here in
Me and
Wisconsin,
bobbies.
in studio here.
I connect with bobbies.
Most of our amazing production crew here in Wisconsin named Bobby. It's
That's right. I pass people on the highway, bobbies here, bobbies there.
Everybody's Bobby.
Hey man, it's my prerogative, just like Bobby Brown. All right? I do what I want.
How many bobbies? I don't know if I know any bobbies. Isn't everyone Bobby to him though?
Oh, Sheldon.
Sheldon, the check is in the mail. It's the Luke Duncan bonus of the week for helping me give the big cat a hard time.
He might be coming on Low Budget Live instead of Pug Clements now. You guys look forward to the next Low Budget Live. Sheldon Collings is going to be on there. Just dug that hole for you, Luke. Good luck getting out of that one. Bobby.
Ooh, a boat. You know how they like boats out here.
Getting that midday lull in the studio as well, big cat.
Yep. Got the sun shining on him, got the cloud cover coming. He was talking about rain a second ago. When the sun is out and it's raining, you know what that means?
I'm not real
Devil's
sure.
beating his wife. That's what my dad always told me. The sun was out and it was raining, that means the devil's beating his wife. Don't ask. Don't ask. This is old folklore. Interesting fact for Fat Cat. Bobby told me about that a long time ago. My dad's name. You guys stick around long enough, we'll do some more Civil War facts like we did yesterday.
Gonna need a Fat Cat fact graphic made, please, guys. From one Oklahoma boy to the next, we're going to check in with Bradley Hallman.
Just go flipping the rest.
He's actually a little bit Oklahoma and a little bit Tennessee. Our on the water commentator.
All right, guys, Loghead Hallman coming to you. Yeah, we got a thing called earpieces. I can hear that coming out here. Anyway, we are sitting right where Timothy Reams just was. He's no longer here. I knew that we weren't going to be able to get a shot with him to put on with you guys. I mean, this guy is running and gunning brush piles. I mean, he's pulling up. He's doing a rotation of about 2 to 3 casts or flips with a drop shot or a big worm. He starts off with something big and then goes down, but he is running and gunning. What he did tell me was he caught a 4-pounder this morning because he's got a 3.5 listed as his biggest fish. I said, 3.5 your biggest, Timothy? And he said, no. He said, I caught one about 4 this morning on a buzz bait. And he said, I just culled a minute ago with a 3-pounder. So he might be a little bit north of what he's got his estimated weight there. He's having a really good day. He's been one of the, I'd say 8 to 10 guys that have been consistently weighing in a limit of 10 to 12 pounds, maybe even hitting that 13. And he is in that group of guys. So he's going to be one of the players at the end. He's going to end up having a nice finish. Whether he gets in the top 10 or not, it's going to really, if he stays in there, probably going to come down to 1 or 2 more bites. The guys that are fishing brush piles, as you can see, the cloud cover is coming back in. It's kind of been one of those days, you know, partly cloudy is what I like to call it, right? clouds, then sun, clouds, and then sun. And I think that's how this day is going to play out. It's even trying to sprinkle on us a little bit. But anyways, loghead reporting here. Back to you guys.
I like that term he came up with, partly cloudy.
Hallman doing strong work for us out there on the water.
He's a beast on the water. Here's that partly cloudy weather Hallman was just talking about.
We're seeing this from several anglers right now, though. They got the rain jacket on and the shorts. They can't decide which way to go because the weather can't make up its mind. You know, Hallman, he also killed it for us last year in studio. We got to spend some time with him at Harris Chain. You were out on the water, and he's just such he's a veteran angler, knowledgeable angler, but he loves this sport.
He's a bass hit, man, no doubt about it.
Hooked up, Pug.
That's a smallmouth, bruh. That is a smallmouth, bruh. Please.
I don't know.
It's got to be 18 inches.
I know it's not 18 inches. Would that help? Yeah, a lot.
Boy, he's close.
Oh my gosh, dude, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. I'll bring it to you. Watch. 18 line. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. Mouth on the board. Mouth closed. 18, baby. Huh? God, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Let me get right here. You beautiful thing. Oh, that's so cool, man.
He's cussed those 18-inch smallmouth ever since Cumberland, and now finally gets to cull out on his largemouth. You can hear it in his breathing, super excited.
You notice how close he is to winning his first NPFL Shield. He's right there, and he knows it.
Start of the day, 3 pounds, 4 ounces back from Patrick Walters. Been saying all day that everything that he had in the box, he didn't want to take to the weigh-in with him, so that was certainly a great upgrade.
I can finally weigh in a smallmouth, dude, on the Tennessee River, and it feels so good. It feels so good.
It's a good upgrade.
Reunited. Huh? And I need you. Oh, man, I mean, it just... Skin of his teeth, but by golly, it's going to the... That's something gonna go into Spring City.
Welcome to NPFL
Just
Idle.
a straight gut instinct. Like,
It's a little pitchy for me, dog.
Man, I love that. I like just when you make a decision and it just works, man. It's just the coolest thing.
I want to hear him do a cover.
Like, that's the
of
only
Biloxi
dock
Blues.
on that whole stretch of bank. Let's go hit it. Don't. Freaking awesome.
Good job, Pug.
Old peanut jig bails me out again. I'm gonna show y'all this in a minute. They're gonna put it on live. I don't know, but let me know when I'm live again. I'll show it.
Live, bud.
Yeah, man, you're live right now.
Live action. Is he throwing up deuces? Needs 2 more. He knows it.
Right.
2 more good ones. He's got a chance. All day to get 2 more,
dude.
bites.
Yep, that's it.
2 more.
In 4.5 hours.
That's right. I say 5 o'clock weigh-in. Well,
That one's
5
as big
o'clock.
as the one yesterday.
He's due
That
in.
one's fat, but I don't care. It's 18 inches.
Weigh-in starts at
And
3.
It's going to the house.
He doesn't have to be until 5.
Might be another one there with it. I don't know.
We've heard anglers talk about the random nature of the smallmouth this week, not really congregated in one spot. That one in a pocket on a boat dock.
How odd is that for you being a TVA guy yourself? And we keep saying TVA. What is TVA for the folks at home that may not be aware of what TVA is?
You know, it's crazy. It's still hard to make that call because it's so close. You know what I mean? Like, it's still hard to do. Like, but bump that. I'm weighing it, like, if he'll let me. I'm not, that's a huge, like, man, that was over a pound upgrade. I mean, how do you be like, what if it shrinks? Well, if it shrinks, it shrinks. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it touched, is all I know. Mouth closed, it touched the line.
So back to that TVA.
Tennessee Valley Authority. They're over all of the dams, the generation.
It don't matter though. When he gets up there, sometimes they'll stress and shrink up. I mean, it's a gamble, really. I mean, but I'll take it. I mean, I got to. I'm not gonna take a 1.5 pounds and take a 2.5, 2 3/4, and throw the 2.5, 2 3/4 back on the chance that it might get stressed. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna weigh that fish.
Pug certainly solidifying his spot.
When I looked at that touch, I was like, look at this.
Up at the top of the leaderboard. Pug Clements. And somebody that thinks they know, they got an inside look at Pug. The man, the myth, the legend, Bradley Hallman. We're going to get back out on the water for a piece with Hallman.
All right, guys, bringing you the goods. This has got a good story, but we are still coming live from the Caribbean in the sea of East Tennessee. Pug Clements having a wonderful tournament. And I really wanted to break down the backstory of why he's so dialed in this week. This is actually where Pug's been staying. Him and his roommate, Bobby, your buddy, Bobby, been staying here with him. And man, it's really helped them get dialed in. They felt the thunderstorm the first night. You've heard some of the guys talk about they thought the shad spawn kind of died down the first day. After practice was so much better, and it really had a lot to do with that thunder and lightning storm we had that night that preceded the first day of the tournament. But Pug has come in here, stayed here every night, stayed dialed in, been able to keep that white jig really dialed in. A lot of it has to do with this surrounding, the Caribbean. And you can hear the waves splashing against the bank every night. He's just right here on the shores. I mean, he's so close to the water. And if you really want to get dialed in bass fishing, guys, this is a big part of it right here. Being part of nature, becoming one. Back to you guys in the studio.
That shirt is not one with nature, Bradley.
Dude, I wonder what that tent smells like. Bradley Hallman, man. Have mercy.
Hot dogs, charcoal, and bug spray, probably.
If Pug stayed in there last night, it probably smelled like more.
What Bradley didn't tell you guys is the travel budget for the NPFL was a little low for him this week, and that's where we had Bradley staying. That's why he's so dialed on Watts Bar. They didn't allow him to stay at Arrowhead. Good stuff from Bradley. The Midday Sillies here.
Finale Friday, Watts Bar, final day here for the National Professional Fishing League. Started out fast and heavy and just full of action.
Even the underside of the, I mean, he's got it stained on the roof. Wow. He put a lot of TLC in that thing. Or somebody did. Big fish ought to live under it just because, you know. Boy, I hit something. I don't know what that was. Something just stopped my jig, though.
From Pug, who's trying to chase down our leader, to the leader himself, fellow South Carolina boy, Patrick Walters. Uh-oh. Is that our Fat Cat Newton hot mess of the day right there a little bit? Got something going on there.
Couldn't really tell.
He's still sitting on that same little offshore point. Hooked up.
Hooked outside the mouth.
Old skipper. It's got a lot of fish off this little spot right here, but only a couple that helped.
Had to go back to worm. We tried 3 or 4 other baits. Just wasn't the deal. I don't know why the worm catches them as good as it does offshore. I got some stuff we need to go throw a jerk bait around though. Shallow brush, a couple stumps. We got time though, that's what I like. We got time.
See, that's scary. He's not
Hey,
even
one
rattled.
more. One more good one. Goes back again. Like a 5 or a 7, either one. I won't be picky. That has something way up there now.
You can tell Patrick feels like he's just slowly closing in on it. He doesn't really have that, 4-pound plus fish in the boat.
Right.
That we've seen, and Massey does. Massey caught one over 4, some other solid fish to go with it. Massey still needs a couple more as well, though.
And Pug has a couple decent ones in the box too.
And then a couple on that smaller end as well. He needs 2.
That's right.
Pug's got a chance with a couple more, but the biggest difference is just that 3-pound deficit he had behind Patrick. In my opinion, Pug's going to need he's going to need his biggest bag of the week, I'll put it that way. To have a shot to run those guys down, he's going to need that Patrick Walters 2 Matt Massey bag, that 16 to 19 range, to probably, with what these guys are catching.
Yeah, well,
we've seen it.
Absolutely.
We've seen it every day.
It's definitely possible. It's not one of those, well, he's bringing 27 and we're at a body of water that's never happened before here. We've seen it happen this week, so we know it's possible.
We talked
Bringing
to
in that 18, 19 pounds.
We talked to Brad Knight last night, you and I did, local angler, veteran pro, and he said, look, I mean, the weights may be off, but he said it would still not surprise me to see somebody catch between 20 and 22 pounds. He said they live here.
Oh, he smoked it. Oh my God, they're fighting over it. This could be white bass, but he freaking smoked it. There's probably if there's anything moving down there. And white bass just go crazy over it.
Hooked up again. Nope. Missed him on the spoon. Just keeps rotating. That's, the biggest takeaway from the week from watching Patrick in this offshore game, this live scope game, watching these schools of fish and individual fish, man. He just, different presentations, keep mixing it up.
And bait fuel.
And bait fuel for sure. A lot of confidence in that.
Speaking of bait fuel, if you want to get some, you can probably go to fishermancentral.com. Not only bait fuel, but any of your fishing needs. Bass, fishing, baits, lures, the best in the game. Go to fishermancentral.com. You want it, they got it.
Patrick, give me an update.
It's 1242. We got 5 in the box. We got 3 okay fish. 2 fish we really need to call out. 2 15-inchers. But we got a good start. It's 1240. We got all day. We still got a lot of water to cover, a lot of isolated brush, stump to hit. We pulled up on a ledge and got them fired up. Caught our limit and cold 2 or 3 times pretty quick. And that's just what it takes. I mean, literally could leave and go to the next ledge and do the same thing, or we could run 15 more ledges and never have another bite. So it's like, they've definitely settled, but that's why I'm actually gonna try to hit the stump a little bit more. Oh gosh, that's a big one. Bite the worm, baby. Bite the worm. They're just down there looking at it. Earlier I was crawling over the stump. Like I'd come to it and I'd pop it over and it'd fall down the backside and they would smoke it. I hadn't really made that good of contact with it lately.
Great stuff with Patrick Walters. Already cold a couple times. Getting scary for the guys trying to run him down. Still so much time left for everybody out there on Watts Bar. And while they all sort it out, we're gonna sort it out with our sponsors. Make this all possible here at the National Professional Fishing League. We'll see you back in a few moments for more Watts Bar live action.
So, you're looking to buy fishing electronics, huh? Are you also looking for true experts to help guide you through it? Well, at the Bass Tank, you've come to the right place. We are live forward-facing sonar pioneers with thousands of hours spent learning through winning trophies, cashing checks, and just having fun. Whatever brand you need, we have it. We offer free shipping, and we have 2 financing options available. Our experts are here to help you. Call us today or visit thebasstank.com.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store. Because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know. Plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
I'm Doug Chapin, and this is how I fish fully loaded.
Guide batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide Batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. Like the house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster, an insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
The bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Will from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here. Super fun beach day, everybody.
Boom, welcome back. Sheldon Collings live.
Oh, dude.
Making a call.
Nice little upgrade.
Sweet. Never fished this before in my life. But see, the dock that I caught my last keeper on, when people were cheering at. So I noticed it was a floating dock instead of a normal wood dock, and it had the metal poles that went down. And after I caught them fish, I thought, man, that marina back there, because we caught that one in that tree right over there yesterday at the end of the day. And I remember seeing this big marina, and it's a floating dock, and it's got the metal poles going down, so it's pretty much the same thing. So that might, I mean, just, so on Grand, we catch them on docks that are different than all the other ones. Well, out here you get a bunch of wooden docks. You find a floating dock, you're gonna start catching, it's just different. It's a different, something different than a normal dock.
Good stuff from Sheldon right there. We've got that fish catch while we're on break there. Looking at those sponsors of the league, Sheldon was doing work. We'll check in with that right now.
That one might call.
Just a small upgrade for Sheldon, but maintaining that pace of consistency.
Still a step in the right direction, right?
And to be fair,
that one's definitely a 3-pounder.
We've talked a lot about the big bite of Patrick Walters, the big bite of Matt Massey. Sheldon, for all the guys in our top 5, he hasn't had that 5-pound plus bite.
No.
He's had a couple 4-pounders, but he is
Pink worm.
one of those away from really just being right in the mix too, going into that final weigh-in.
And we talked about that, what he found out in practice. He was trying to do the offshore thing. He said he was catching a lot of fish offshore, just not the right quality. And he said when he moved shallow, especially around the docks, he was seeing fry and catching a bigger, better quality of fish, like you were saying, the fry garters. And we've seen him stick with that pattern. He's moved out a little bit. You know, we've seen him kind of ease out some, but every time we go back to him, he's within sight of those docks.
Started the day in 3rd place, a pound 6 back. So certainly within range of Patrick to make it interesting if he gets a couple more good bites, the same as Matt Massey. All these guys, it's going to be tight.
You know what else he's doing right now? He's racking up some valuable progressive AOI points. Came into this event sitting in 12th in progressive AOI, and he's going to come out of this tournament smelling real good, making that northern swing. And he's one of those guys that's going to be a threat. He's a threat anywhere he goes. He's been doing it long enough to where
he's got experience on those northern smallmouth lakes from all his tour experience traveling around. A lot of our guys, Saginaw Bay, will be an unknown, but he's going to be a handful going into the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Just like he was last year in our inaugural season. Sheldon was on fire for most of it and barely missed a win there at Grand Lake.
Contention several times, yes.
And with him, it is a matter of when.
That's right.
Not if.
I agree 100%.
And the same with, I say the same for Pug. I say the same for, I mean, guys like Matt Massey, we were fortunate to get to cover a lot of very, very talented anglers that can all win at any time.
Well, dude, but to peel the onion back a little bit for us that have been following professional bass fishing for a while, we've been keeping up with Sheldon Collings for a while. You know, he's been around, been on the scene, and like you say, it's not a matter of time, not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, without a doubt.
Sheldon is very, very good with his electronics, loves that forward-facing sonar, and we are fortunate to partner with a company very good at setting up your graphs, at getting you dialed on that forward-facing sonar, and that is the Bass Tank, one of our premium sponsors here at the National Professional Fishing League. We're going to hear from the man himself, John Hookup Soakup, on what makes the Bass Tank tick, what makes it so special out there in Oklahoma.
Hey everyone, John Sokup, NPFL Pro and co-owner of the Bass Tank. The Bass Tank is an electronics accessory installation national shipping shop. We sell Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird. We've been known for really focusing on the niche of the forward shooting sonar, like the live scopes, the active targets, and things of that nature. We've been able to take those skill sets and kind of put them on display with the NPFL, winning the first UFOLO event with live scope. You know, we've always been fishermen, but the creation of the Bass Tank actually came from a basic problem that I had. In 2018, I was at the Forest Wood Cup, and I actually broke down at the Forest Wood Cup because of improper installation, and it came from the manufacturer on down. And simply put, the industry as a whole has kind of accepted, you know, bad quality of installation when it comes to electronics. And as the electronics industry pushes and creates more demand, more amperage, more things like that, there's a gap between what's actually being put out there from the manufacturer. And so there's a niche, there's a need that someone specializes in electronics. We're all fishermen. We fish professionally. Every single one of us fish to some manner. So we understand the fishermen, but we also are very skilled. My partner, Scott Palmer, is actually an engineer. So everything we do is engineer backed, and we're also backed by, you know, being able to field test things. And that's usually what I'm doing, is I'm out there breaking things and Scott's behind the scenes fixing things. And so we know exactly how to take on a customer when they have a need of any kind. And I think everybody knows that when you're spending the kind of money that we're spending on boats and equipment, you know, everybody wants it to work. You don't want to break down in the Forest Wood Cup like I did because it wasn't installed right. And so we bring that same passion to each and every one of our customers. For any of your electronics needs, we ship nationwide, we have financing, and we also have the best installation in the business. No shortcuts, it's done right, or it's not done at all. So you can find us at thebasstank.com. You can call us, 918-509-7864. You can find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Thanks to the Bass Tank for supporting us here at the league, and so many of our anglers.
Here he comes.
They work with a lot of pros across all tournament trails.
Well, I thought I was going to fold it down.
Sheldon's trying to do his best pug impression right here, fishing this marina dock. So we're gonna go check in with the real thing. Pug Clements, the South Carolina angler.
We're 14 and a half right now, maybe. Somewhere in there. Maybe 15, I don't know. I don't know, man. All I know is I'm feeling a little bit. Like it's feeling right. It's feeling right.
Pug's been on a roll since first thing this morning. And just a little earlier, we got word that he made a crucial cull. Yet another cull this afternoon. And while we were on commercial break, we're going to check that right now.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Pug Clements.
I know I'm one big bite away from having a crack on this thing, like 1 4-pounder away from giving it a run. To at least to where they got to catch them. I mean, that's all I can. Boys, it's fixing to get interesting now, I'm telling y'all. I get me one more than 4 or 5 pounders. It's gonna get interesting. That's not a big one, it's not. But that is a solid core. I mean, a solid core. Just double check, make sure.
I'm telling you right now, that weigh-in at 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Is going to be interesting.
Another call for Pug. Back live. Pug Clements.
You figure we go off air in an hour, these guys will still be fishing for 3 more hours out there. You guys want to go to tnpfl.com to watch that live weigh-in with Big Al McCullough, bringing the boom, 3 o'clock Eastern time.
we made a full-on commitment to ourselves today that like we weren't going offshore. Not that you can't catch a big bag offshore, because I know you can, but I just don't have those areas. And all my bigger bites were coming under marinas or up on blowdowns, so I just told myself today we're gonna stay with it all day and just see what happens. And so far so good. So far so good. One more bite of the right kind, man.
Like we saw there from Pug, lots of fish catches today. In little windows, we see they bite in little sporadic moments all day long since this morning, but we've had several catches on camera. We're going to take a look back at some of the highlights the last few hours here on the bar, Watts Bar Lake, Spring City, Tennessee. Sheldon Collings breaking out that spinning rod this afternoon, the drop shot. Putting down the jig that he's done most of his damage with, but making that crucial adjustment to stay consistent like he has been all week long. Pug Clements, we just saw there with his first keeper, smallmouth. They have eluded him, those 18 inches, but he finally was able to get one in the
Kind of
boat.
off the beaten path for a smallmouth too, huh?
For sure. Sheldon Collings, the Oklahoma angler.
Yeah, that's a good one. There we go. A little better.
I'm going to make a couple calls this afternoon for sure. Getting a little interesting up at the top.
Yeah, man.
Several hours to go.
Several hours ago, and that's going to play a huge role, and that's why you guys want to make sure you tune in to that live weigh-in at 3 o'clock, because it's going to be a lot of action taking place, and we're seeing Patrick Walters just getting warmed up. We really are. You're looking into it.
Absolutely.
You're watching his body language, how he's carrying himself, what he's doing. He's preparing. It's a boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. It's going to be wild, man.
He's a closer. We've said it, but we also said that at Hartwell. Let's keep that in mind. And then,
well, because look where he was at Hartwell. You know, here he is again,
right.
like back to back.
Position, same position. And as we enter our last hour of coverage here, of course, you've mentioned it. I've mentioned it. 3 more hours for most of these guys. So that afternoon bite, will it play? I know it did for Sheldon. He made several crucial calls between the time we went off live and that weigh-in yesterday afternoon. So lots more action to come and more shakeups to that leaderboard. We're going to take a look at the unofficial leaderboard right now, presented by Beat Down Mounts. This unofficial Weigh Live leaderboard that all of our guys are strongly encouraged to enter these weights into. Patrick Walters sitting on top, with Matt Massey in second. Pug Clements, Timmy Reams, Sheldon Collings, Luis Fernandez, who has been so consistent all week, Logan Millsaps, Eddie Carper. Will he do it?
Boy.
Derek Blake, whose backyard is Watts Bar Lake, lives right there on the bar. And we've seen him. He's flirted with the top 10 all week.
And he lost one of those key fish that we've talked about this whole week.
We got a video sent to us from Derek himself, a 5-pound plus fish on day one. Made a little boo-boo trying to flip it in the boat, hits the console. Certainly a great fish that I bet he wishes he had going towards his total aggregate weight as we get down the stretch here. And then Robbie Frazier rounding out that top 10. All I can promise you is when it becomes official, it won't look anything like that, most likely. Maybe those top spots, but you never know when we go off live what can happen here with the National Professional Fishing League. So much time left in the day. My question to you is, what will it take for the 3-day total? Now that you see it, it's all kind of lining up. Will we hit that 45-pound mark, that 15-pound a day, or is it going to be more like 41, 42? What do you think?
The 41, 42.
Okay.
I think we're going to be right around. We might see 45. We're not going to see 45. If we do, I think both of us will be like, whoa.
And Patrick, you know, he started the day at 30 pounds even right there on the nose, so he needs 15 to get there. But a lot of guys coming in said, man, 42, 43, that's going to be the weight you need. One thing's for sure, we will find out when Big Al McCullough brings the boom this afternoon starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. But we're going to jump back out on the water to the guy that brought the biggest boom to the weigh-in yesterday, Matt Massey. There's that vertical structure we were promised.
See what we heard about.
That's right.
Is this the home of that 7-pounder he brought in yesterday?
Well, we made another move. We're down here at the lock by the dam, fishing the face of the lock here, the entrance to the lock. I actually upgraded here yesterday with a little over 3-pounder right on this concrete. I was hoping to maybe do that again today. The bite's really slowed down for me, but I'm starting to move around quite a bit, hoping to put a bait in front of one's head and see what happens. Throwing my jig right now again, and I upgraded a little bit ago, flipping some laydowns before I moved down here. And maybe we'll pick up another isolated fish here. Right now I'm just looking for a big bite to, you know, move up that weight.
So this vertical structure, this is one of the mini dams. This is Watts Bar Dam.
Definitely need some more upgrades here to have a shot.
You not only have deep water and bait fish that get around these walls, but when the locks operate, it can create current down there. And this is one of the famous lock walls on the Tennessee River, and I understand that you got an education about the Watts Bar Dam and the lock while you were down there in East Tennessee earlier this week, Big Cat.
Dude, it was a crazy story how this happened. I'll break it down for you real quick. Wasn't supposed to be there, never scheduled this or anything. We actually went downtown to Spring City to check out the museum and see what was going on, because when we go to these communities, we want to get some history and just see what the vibe is and showcase it. Well, not a whole lot was going on at the museum, but I met a wonderful lady named Honey. And I told Honey what we were trying to do. She said, well, hold on, baby. Y'all are fishing. Let me make a phone call for you. Boop, boop, beep, boop. Made a few phone calls. Next thing you know, we ended up somewhere that you guys are about to see right now. And it was wild.
Certainly an education for the Potomac River boy, right?
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, it was interesting getting to go and check out Watts Bar Lock.
You're about to go on a journey and see one of the perks of my job here at the National Professional Fishing League. Have the honor of getting to check out Watts Bar and the Lock with our man Matt Graves.
My name's Matt Graves, and I'm an operator here at Watts Bar Lock. I've been here a total of about 6-7 years. My first lock was Chickamauga. I lived probably a mile and a half from here growing up, and then retired out of the Air Force in 2013 and moved back. And this was the job I wanted to have, and I was fortunate enough to be able to get this job. So this area provides everything that I got and everything I wanted. I love it because, for one, you know, customer service, you get to talk to them, just kind of, you always get that general information from, hey man, the fish biting. We get to see a lot of cool things here. I mean, fishing wise, you know, you'll see guys come through with, you know, triple-digit catfish. I'm a river rat. You know, I grew up fishing this river. I grew up hunting this river. I mean, this river has I have the greatest memories of my life. But being on the river, being a part of the river, being, you know, tied in with everybody. If you want to go north, you got to go through me. If you want to go through south, you got to go through me. Well, our lock was built in 1942, and it's actually kind of an engineering marvel that in 1942 they drew up something like this, because it's, I mean, you got the sector gears, you got all this stuff here, it's ran by a 10 horsepower motor. The primary reason we were put here was for the aquatic stair step. Without the dams and the locks and stuff like that, this will be a creek. They needed a way to transport parts up the waterways. So all this stuff was built for a reason. The river is one of the best things to take commerce from one place to another. Like one barge holds 78 transfer trucks worth of goods. One barge, and we get as many as 15 come through at one time. We've had as many as 76 bass boats come in here. There's 3 ways to signal a lock master, and what it is you can pull the cord, which will buzz me completely out of my seat. You can call us on the phone or you can radio us, but most of your fishing vessels don't have radios, so they either pull a cord or they'll call like a week in advance. The river is unforgiving. I mean, it's just, the power of the river is just unbelievable, and you can't control it. As an operator, you know, that's what our job is. It's complete safety in the lock.
Good stuff, man.
I was lucky to be a part of it.
Took my claws.
I learned a lot. And what he was talking about, that's the system. World War II, if you look at that timeline when the dams were put up, that TVA, this whole water system was a huge part of transporting supplies during World War II, backing up and down, efficiency and everything else. A lot of folks don't realize that Watts Bar Dam originally was scheduled to be put right where the Arrowhead Resort is right now, but then they decided to move it further down, and where the dam is.
Good shot of that lock right there.
Yeah, man, actually on Watts Bar, there's a big sandbar there, and they put the dam right on top of it. But yeah, Matt Graves, phenomenal guy. Matt, appreciate you letting us come in there and check things out, and we learned a lot. And this is one thing I did learn. When you're locking through, we're not locking through in this tournament in particular, but who knows what we're going to be doing in the future. There is etiquette to locking through. You ease in and ease out. You do not come out of that lock until them doors are fully closed.
I don't think anybody tests Matt's
No, that's where I was going with this. That is not the dude you want to cross.
I think everybody's all good. Yes, sir, and no, sir, in there.
Here.
He had some cool stories, though.
3 guys in that corner, 1 down in that corner. Somebody must have caught some fish down here.
Matt said he'd seen it set there before. Saw a guy win a tournament, catch 26 pounds right off to the side of the lock. I asked the coolest thing that he's ever seen. He said when he had opened the lock one time, he saw 3 sturgeon come out at the same time and jump like dolphins. He said he'd never seen nothing like it. Be a cool job to be a lock master. I don't know if you could handle it though. I could, but you know. Me and Matt are big, you know, because you have to move them locks manually. You're a little scrawny. I don't know if you can handle it, but.
Give it a shot. I'll get fired though because I wouldn't let bass boats through if I had a secret honey hole below the lock and be like, oh, sorry guys, lock's closed.
He talked about an old guy that used to come on the downside of the dam. There's the big rock jetty, throw an Alabama rig, 8-pounder, 13-pounder, all right below the dam on the out of that lock.
If you fished in and around the Tennessee River much at all, you know the dams play a huge part in everything, whether it's current generation, fishing near the dams, structure that they provide. There's a lot that goes on around these massive pieces of concrete. That's always our joke. My buddies that primarily win a ton of local tournaments, Michael Brewer being one of them, him and his father Nathan on the Tennessee River down on Pickwick. We say, are you going to the concrete? they're always within sight of concrete.
There's rules and regulations when you fish near some of these dams too, as far as wearing your PFD and things of that nature, or how close you can get.
Caught a lot of big fish on these lock walls over the years though. They suspend. Live scopes made it more interesting because you can actually see at what depth. Used to we just had to guess. Or do like Massey and let the jig fall, just free fall through the depth column. Used to catch a lot of fish growing up on a drop shot on these lock walls. It's a big pattern, especially on the lakes that have a big spotted bass population. They like to get around that vertical structure, move up and down.
I was asking about how the water fluctuates down here. He said, so where we saw that big gear a few minutes ago that ran off 10 horsepower, I think he was saying that you figure that wasn't 10 foot from, it doesn't fluctuate that much as far as 4 or 5 foot wise. And he was talking about how the Watts Bar Dam was somewhat of a low flow dam. That's why you were talking about not getting crazy current on here like we did at Pickwick.
Slower afternoon for Massey, for sure. We're going to get a look, Big Cat, over at Robbie Frazier, one of our anglers that's jumped up into that unofficial top 10 today.
All right, let's get out of here.
Georgia angler, but with a lot of Tennessee River experience. Yeah. Robbie's been around.
Travels with the Millsaps.
Robbie down there working that concrete, just like Matt Massey. We heard Matt mention, there's several boats around. I'd say Robbie is one of the boats in the background from Matt Massey. And to find out more, we're going to check in with Bradley Hallman, who I believe is called up with the damn rats that are down there hanging around that concrete.
All right, boys, I know you just ran the piece on the dam. So here we are at the dam. We're at the dam with Robbie Frazier. He is sitting down here. He's got a nice limit in the box. He said he's got about 12 pounds, maybe even 13. And then we got his buddy over here, Jesse Millsaps. Jesse broke down, and this is where he ended up. He had to get a tow, but he got a tow down here. They're roommates. And Robbie's been down here fishing all week. He's had a little success catching limits. So Jesse came down, got a tow down here, and he's going to have to put his boat over there on a boat ramp and probably ride in. So they've got a little work to do even after weigh-in. But here's the cool thing. They both got a limit. Just pitching a little finesse bait, drop shot, Ned rig up against the concrete walls, and they're having a pretty good time down here. There's some other anglers down here as well. I believe that Matt Massey's on around on the lock side. So there's been some fish caught off the dam this week for sure. Cool little feature. A lot of guys probably forgot about, but here it is, all sneaky. Reporting to you live, back to you guys.
Hallman, always on it, just running down those stories all the time for us.
No surprise seeing Robbie Frazier where he's at, because this is similar to what he was doing at Pickwick. Very similar to Pickwick. And no surprise to see him up in the standings, because he's one of our most consistent anglers. We talk about Robbie a lot. And his traveling partners, the Millsaps.
Robbie's a veteran tournament guy. He's fished the FLW Tour, Toyota Series, Bassmaster Opens. He's been around the block for a long time. So Robbie's certainly been consistent down here on the lower end of Watts Bar against the dam all week long. Going to get him a good paycheck because of it, certainly. And we're going to continue to watch Robbie with our uninterrupted coverage as we go to commercial break, thanks to the folks at Fully Loaded. Our last commercial break of the day. We'll see you back on the other side to finish out this last hour of live coverage here. Stop number 3, the National Professional Fishing League, Watts Bar Lake.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store. Because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know. Plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
So if you don't know about me, I was in the military for quite a while, and in that process I picked up the habit of chewing tobacco. I came across this stuff last year, midsummer, and started using it, and now I don't even use tobacco at all. If you don't know about Fully Loaded Chew, it's a non-tobacco product that contains nicotine. Fully Loaded Chew offers a variety of nicotine strengths. They have Fully Loaded, which is full nicotine, Half Cocked, which is half strength, and zero nicotine options for you. So if you're looking to completely kick the habit, they have something that's going to fit you. They have a variety of flavors. So if you're used to chewing a certain thing, they have something that's going to fit what you're used to also. To sign up for their monthly subscription service or to get your hands on any Fully Loaded Chew product, head to fullyloadedchew.com and grab some.
ProGuide batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. ProGuide batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium ProGuide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
Are you looking to install your own fishing electronics? Well, the Bass Tank is here to help you. The solution is the Bass Tank Power Harness. It takes the guesswork out of installation. No more voltage issues or interference. Designed by an engineer so that you can get professional results right there in your own garage. Installation done right with the help of the Bass Tank Power Harness. You can feel confident knowing that your installation was done right. The Bass Tank Power Harness. Give us a call or order yours today at thebasstank.com.
Back to Robbie Frazier. Looks like he might have another keeper on his hands, getting those scales out to see if he can make another upgrade. Boat to boat from the Wombat. Eric Keemans, one of our fantastic camera operators here in the league.
Who are you telling? That's my boy.
I've got Wombat envy. You do like Wombat.
Oh,
you worked with Wombat all year last year.
He's a pure soul, man. Pure soul. Let's see. Got the Culling beam out. Don't hold it too high, Robbie. Come on now. Wow, look at that.
Grudge match.
What do you do?
Dang.
What do you do? Pick the prettiest one? Golly.
Healthiest, prettiest.
Yeah.
One that looked like it might have a little bit of gut, even though the beam's not moving. Robbie's gonna try to weigh them up and see if there's a difference on the scales. And we're gonna go quad box while he figures that out. Pug, Ryan Satterfield, Sheldon Collings, and Matt Massey. Satterfield started the day in second place. 9 ounces behind our leader, Patrick Walters, but very tough day. Looks like he's moved offshore though, trying to change his stars a little bit. Pug, of course, we've been with several times today, seen his success, working on a decent limit, hoping to cull a couple more times in these afternoon hours. Started 3 pounds, 4 ounces back from Patrick. Sheldon Collings 1.6 back to start the day in third place, and has certainly got a foundation laid. Great limit, couple culls already. Just looking for that 4+ pound bite to try to keep him in the mix.
And if you run down the progressive AOI points of these anglers when they came into the event, Ryan Satterfield came into this event in 79th progressive AOI. Pug Clements come in here at 66th in that progressive AOI. Sheldon's setting pretty good, man. He's coming here in 12th. He's going to come out of here smelling good. Matt Massey, 39th. And Patrick Walters came in here 53rd. And that's even missing one event.
Starting to get that moving and shaking going on in the afternoon hours, and a guy that has been moving and shaking for 3 days all the way to the top of that leaderboard, Patrick Walters.
I prefer bebopping and flip-flopping. Still love that shirt. Golly.
Old school Zoom lizard on that t-shirt.
Oh, pack of them. It's like they'll swim around, and whenever they get on the stumps, when you can catch them. You can't hardly catch them if they're not on it. They're up there.
On that same little ledge spot with the stump rope. We've seen him do a lot of his damage this afternoon, and this is honestly the most settled we've seen him over the course of the 3 days. He doesn't spend a lot of time on one spot, but obviously a lot of numbers here. We've seen him catch several fish, make a couple culls. This exact spot here, and he's still seeing them down there. Which most of the time when he sees them is bad news for the rest of the field and the fish.
True story on that. I'll give you some of that. That was a good one.
Patrick, give me an update on this spot.
Well, we're probably going to roll out. You know, they're kind of broke up, which I mean, we caught a good bit of fish off of it. There's still some fish kind of getting on it. It's more white bass than anything right now. So it's kind of pushing the bass out of the way, and they're just kind of swimming around the flat. That's white bass biting a jig. And then when they get on that stump, you can catch them. That's just basically, that's the dinner table, is what that stump is. And if they're not sitting at the dinner table, it's pretty hard to catch them. And so that's what we're doing. You just kind of, it's a waiting game of when they'll position and you can catch the fish. There's some fish scattered up here on the spot. I want to see if I can catch them. They don't look huge. There's 2 of them. See what they'll do. See how they react first.
I like the dinner table analogy.
He's looking at it.
Probably because it has to do with dinner. for it being Friday before Memorial Day weekend, not as much boat traffic as I thought I would see out there.
Not yet. They may see it in that later flight. Closer to 5 they get, folks get off work for that holiday weekend. But really, you're right, it hasn't been near the parade of boats I thought we would see.
Looks like some brush over there or something. Looks like a fish. Little knobby point. Yeah, there might be some fish. Looks like a good one. There's a little bit of brush out here. We're gonna fish this brush and we're going. Big one in a minute.
We've got about 30 minutes left on air. We're gonna get off here at 2 o'clock, but remember that weigh-in starts at 3 o'clock today, tnpfl.com, Eastern time. There goes one of them. They're just getting started. But you guys make sure and tune in for that weigh-in. Starts at 3 o'clock. Al McCullough bringing the boom. We got some of these anglers like Patrick Walters don't have to weigh in until 5 o'clock today. So when we go off air here at 2, let's have 3 more hours of fishing. They get to enjoy some of those pleasure boaters that are starting to enjoy that Watts Bar this fine Memorial Day weekend.
Fish down there.
All right, we'll
find a group of them.
We're gonna let Patrick Walters make that last cast and see if he can get one. He said he's about to move, and let's see if he can capitalize on this cast right here.
Need a heavier weight almost. Get my bait in there quicker.
The whole one more cast thing's not working for Patrick too well. He's made 3 more since the one more cast. Just watching that graph, seeing if they're going to eat.
It's Poop something out of the brush pile.
While he's working on that, we're going to slide on back over to Robbie Frazier doing the damn thing on the damn wall.
Robbie unofficially in our top 10 right now. Heading into these afternoon hours. A lot of the field, top half of our anglers anyway, is going to weigh in late. Especially that top 10. They're rewarded for their finish coming in to the final day, getting to go out first and check in last. Something we do here at the NPFL, a little different for these guys. If you're just joining us, several of our anglers are actually fishing around this vertical structure at the dam. You've got current, you've got shade, you've got bait fish. Matt Massey caught a 7-pounder in this area of the lake yesterday on a jig. A lot of our anglers making runs, making changes right now.
Here it is, it's final day.
Got a little boat-to-boat action.
Yeah, some of the guys have to be back in at 2:30. So it's getting down to crunch time. A lot of juking and jiving, bebopping and flip-flopping. These guys are thinking about what they're doing, but Robbie Frazier staying right there on that wall. Let's be honest, he wouldn't go far anyways with his buddy Jesse Millsaps over there. The way it sounds right now, Jesse Millsaps is fishing to the right. He's got boat issues. He has his limit, just like his partner Robbie right there. They're traveling partners. So what's going to happen more than likely is that Jesse Millsaps is going to dock his boat at the ramp right over there by the dam, and that's right, little Jesse down there. And he's going to ride back with Robbie Frazier. That way they can both weigh their fish in. That is one of the good things about traveling with a network of guys, having the travel companions. You guys can work together, not just for situations like this, but just the luxury of networking, the fishing conditions, the things of that nature, patterns, and what's working. Both of them doing similar things. Probably just throwing a wacky rig, something like that along that wall. Just Robbie did well at Pickwick last year, fishing a similar way at the Pickwick Dam. And also somebody else that travels with Jesse and Robbie is Logan Millsaps. He's been making a move today. We were on him earlier, but he was doing something a little bit different. He was fishing that offshore bite. He had one of the boat itself over 6 pounds.
course, Big Cat, we can see all the cameras from our Wizard of Oz view, we like to call it. And those guys are running. We've got, of our top 5 anglers that we're covering, they are all making moves right now in these final moments alive.
It's that time of day.
Of course, like you mentioned, Jesse Millsaps to the right of Robbie Frazier broke down. Mechanical failure, but he's going to ride in with Robbie, but they're right down there by that Spring City boat ramp, not too far. So they're locked in place. Trying to both come out of here with a good check. 39 places going to be paid at the end of the day today, with that $50,000 check going to the first place and that beautiful NPFL Shield trophy. So lots of folks, 2 tournaments going on. We always like to say we don't have cuts here. All 115 anglers have fished all 3 days. And if it's anything like we've seen the last 2 days, we're sure somebody will come from out of check range into check range today with a good bag. We've seen that. Seen some huge jumps the last couple of days. Brad Knight yesterday, 38th place up to 13th. Matt Massey buried in the 40s all the way to 4th place today with that 19-pound bag. Having him in contention still today.
Robbie Frazier, he's earning those valuable progressive AOI points. Came into this event and setting in 22nd. So he should come out of it setting pretty good.
Lots of moving around going on for sure, though. Some of our guys starting to settle back in.
Hallman's getting ready.
Oh,
It's down here too, you know, it's public waterways and that's how it is. You know, anybody can fish. And so we're getting a little company down here. This guy's set up, he's got bumper boats and dog and everybody ready to rock and roll today. So
nice.
We may end up with a little company down here on the dam.
Uh-oh.
He's popular place down here. The bottom end of Watts Bar.
All right, Luke, explain to me what Robbie's doing right now. Why is he standing on the front side throwing down the back?
Well, with all this technology we have now, it's spot lock. He's spot locked in the current there. He's just spot locked in that current right there and able to throw off that back deck. While he's doing that, we're going to check in with Matt Massey, the man from day 2 with the biggest stringer of fish. 19 pounds with a 7-pounder. Started the day strong. Now that he said earlier, he thinks some wind would help on that grass flat, and he is certainly getting that now.
Absolutely.
Picked up. Fishing that coontail, milfoil mix, lots of bluegill and did most of his damage today on a Strike King Thunder Cricket vibrating jig this morning early.
He said what keyed him off on that area being a good area when he first got there, the first fish he caught out of that grass was a good catfish. And he said that keyed him into, that's where the grown ones live. And
that was interesting. And he's a Florida guy, fishes grass a lot. And he says, you know, whenever he finds catfish in an area, he knows there's a lot of brim around because they're eating those bluegill and brim. Very interesting. From Matt Massey this morning. Matt started the day a little over a pound behind Patrick Walters, and he is doing his best to trade blows with our day 1 and 2 leader going into that final weigh-in. To remind everybody, you can follow everything we have going on once we go off live on tnpfl.com. During the weigh-in, you can see that live leaderboard running there on the website by clicking the live leaderboard tab. Get some questions about that every now and then, Fat Cat, but live leaderboard will be updated and scrolling through the weigh-in there. Of course, you can watch the weigh-in, watch the video from the weigh-in there on the website as well.
And I do think there's going to be a drastic, I don't say drastic, but there will be a difference.
Always. Well, yesterday with the 5 guys we covered, we have this overwhelming feeling like it was tough all over, and it is a tough bite, but the weight, the check weight yesterday, as far as what it was after 2 days, went up. Absolutely. From day 1. So will we see more of the same today? Will we see some more of those 15-pound plus stringers that have been difference makers this week to elevate a guy from the 60s and 70s up to getting a check? There's going to be a lot of things decided there in Spring City, Tennessee with Big Al McCullough this afternoon, to say the least. Of course, our top 5, top 10 due in about 5 p.m. That's when the real fireworks start coming together for who's going to take home that shield and that $50,000 payday. Matt Massey unofficially in 3rd right now. Patrick Walters still the man to beat headed into the afternoon hours here on Watts Bar.
Going to leave our man Matt Massey go over to the quad box as he joins 3 of his friends. Pug Clements, Ryan Satterfield, and Sheldon Collings. Man, all of them doing not similar there. Kind of know what Pug's doing, but similar offshore stuff.
A lot of wheels turning out there right now.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Close you start getting to those weigh-in times and all the boats start running around, you second guessing.
Oh boy.
Lots of emotion out there on this finale Friday. our first ever. This tournament to honor Memorial Day, stay off of this weekend. We are ending on Friday here at Watts Bar. Our next event, Saginaw Bay, will be the same, a Wednesday, Thursday, finale Friday event as well instead of Showdown Saturday. Welcome back to the NPFL Live Studios for one more time, right here closing out this tournament. And a lot like yesterday, fireworks early until about 10 o'clock, and then it's just been one here, one there. Lots of fish being caught, not a ton of keepers today. A little bit of a grind on Watts Bar.
Dude, I'm going to be honest, not just a grind on Watts Bar, but it's been a grind in the studio. Because this morning, man, it started so fast-paced. When we opened up, we already had so many fish catch highlights from how the guys just capitalized on that action that took place this morning. The storm coming in, it was nasty. Dude, for a second, I was, oh, it's going to be a busy day. And then, like you said, that midday log comes, and next thing you know, me and you were just up to our shenanigans talking nonsense, thinking about, man, is this our last one? Because we're not making any sense. So it's been a wild tournament, man. I'll be honest with you, it's been better than what I anticipated leading up to it because a lot of the guys were saying they were catching a bunch of shorts, no bigs, but we've seen 6-pounders, 7-pounders caught,
That's right.
4s and 5s. So it really has been better than what I was anticipating.
The weights overall all year at Watts Bar have been down. We've talked about that. Watts Gar is our buddy Justin Martin, who chimed in a little earlier, reached out to us. Name dropper. We appreciate Mr. Martin. I know he's listening down there and checking out the NPFL today, but he said Watts Gar. I'm like, it has been a little bit of a gar hole this afternoon, to say the very least. But I think the question that we asked this morning certainly got answered. Will that front pushing through, will that bluebird sky affect the bite? And it did, because the guys that got off to a quick start this morning, it seemed like that rain, that low pressure, the wind certainly helped them. And when the wind shifted directions and the sun got out, it certainly started to affect that leaderboard that we've been looking at. Huge changes all day on.
Absolutely. We talked about guys that thought they had it figured out, found out they didn't have it figured out, and we've just seen guys moving around, and it's just been slow, man. It's hard to. Let me ask you a question. Right now, Matt Massey leading the Big Bite Challenge, 7-pounder. Do you think someone will beat that today?
No, he's safe.
He's safe.
He's safe. Okay. I think when you get that number 7 in front of one on this lake, historically, I think he's completely safe to win that. Will we see another 6-pound? Absolutely, there's a chance of that. Will we see a 7+? I'll be very shocked if we see one bigger than that. If we were at Chickamauga right down, you never know. But I was shocked by the 7 even. There were a lot of locals that were shocked by that yesterday as well. And a pre-spawn fish, we heard Matt mention that earlier today. It was a healthy fish, had not been through the spawning cycle yet. Very interesting. So maybe somebody lands on another one of those and we see one over 7, but I'm gonna have to say no.
Okay, I was about to say, because when you're talking spawning, it's wild because the water temp has been high 70s, close to 80. Right. And to think that some of them still haven't spawned out just blows my mind.
It's been a very weird weather year all over the country, and it is affecting every tournament that we've seen, everywhere we've been so far. That's Lord knows we have been affected by this crazy weather, and every other tournament trail out there as well. One thing we can guarantee you headed into this afternoon's drive-through weigh-in with Al McCullough, there will be shakeups to the leaderboard. We've seen them all day on our unofficial leaderboard. Let's take a look at it one last time. The unofficial leaderboard brought to you by Beat Down Mounts, this Weigh Live tracker leaderboard where our guys are highly suggested. We try to force them even sometimes to enter their unofficial weights. Patrick Walters leading the event. He is trying to go wire to wire. We've seen it days 1 and 2. He has been the man in charge, and right now unofficially still sitting there with Pug Clements breathing down his neck. Matt Massey, really, I'm going to say a 3-horse race, but look right there in 4th place.
What is going on?
How crazy is that?
That is wild, dude. So what I'm freaking out about is that 4th place, James Clements, Pug's dad, son.
Vaulted up into the top 10. How cool would that be if both of those guys come out of here with a top 10? Of course, you know Pug will talk smack if he beats old dad. here in the top 10, but awesome to have those guys with us on the NPFL, and very cool story. And James doing well in the NPFL Progressive Angler of the Year race as well. Timmy Reams hanging in there like he always does, but one of our most consistent anglers here in the league. Sheldon Collings, Luis Fernandez, Logan Millsaps, Derek Blake, whose backyard is Watts Bar, not a surprise there at all, and yet another shocker, Bryant Smith, the California kid, one of our absolute, just workhorse, strong, young anglers, man. Catches them every single lake we go to for the last 2 seasons, so no shocker there. He slipped a little bit weight-wise yesterday from where he set his pace on day 1, but definitely catching back up.
He performs, man.
He does.
When we started this, and we started NPFL last year, and we heard about him coming on. That was one of the names that had the biggest buzz around it that we really weren't familiar with.
No doubt about it. He was a guy I actually predicted to win this right here, the Progressive Angler of the Year coming in, and he's been super consistent so far, but he's not in that top 10 just yet. We will see when the year is over, though. Jesse Wise sitting on top of that right now. Kevin Rogers, who's having a great event here at Watts Bar. Ryan Davidson, Timmy Reams, another angler having a fantastic event here, along with Sean Murphy. Gary Atkins, Eddie Carper having a very strong finish here. We're going to see where he ends up, but he's going to be somewhere in that top 15. Got to imagine for Eddie Carper. Josh McDermott, Logan Millsaps, another angler that's in our top 10 right now as we close out live, and Justin Kimmel rounding out that top 10. That will look very different once we shut down Watts Bar and we get ready for Saginaw Bay here in about a month, right before the 4th of July. We're going to see some fireworks up there on Saginaw Bay. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in this week for Watts Bar. Spring City, Tennessee has been an awesome host. It's been an awesome place to have an event. Fat Cat, I've enjoyed being in studio with you, man. As always, Bradley Hallman absolutely killed it out there on the water, and all of our anglers working so hard through these changing conditions, tough conditions. Anything that you want to say to end it on? Any surprises that you've seen today in live coverage?
Oh, man, you gonna put it on me right now?
Right here at the end.
No, I tell you what, you're going to see the biggest surprise at weigh-in, 3 o'clock, with Big Al McCullough bringing the boom, because I think the biggest fish is about to come. So tune into that weigh-in.
So you're saying my 7-pounder?
You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, that's obvious
No
for
surprise.
most folks listening. We appreciate each and every one of you, and there's one thing for sure. We're going to see you all at Saginaw Bay in Michigan in 1 month.
That might be a few. Golly, look how fat he is. Got him biggin'. I watched. That's all right. There's a bite. Oh my God.
Live here. I told you they lived here.
They're all that fun. Oh my God. Stay on there. Stay on there. Come here. Come here.
They live here. I told you they lived here.
Got him biggin'. I watched.
Yes!
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Cool, buddy. Come on. Just bigger.
Yeah, baby. Yeah!
Stay pinned. Not a bad one.